Hello everybody, I'm Zest, and welcome to today's LEGO review video where I will be building and reviewing the new 2021 Imperial TIE Fighter. Let's check this thing out. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Zest, where we do all sorts of really fun things with Legos, Nerf guns, video games, and more. If you'd like to, please consider subscribing to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button down below and hitting that bell icon right next to it to be notified when we make new videos. Now, let's check out this set. As I mentioned previously in my introduction, today we are reviewing the LEGO Star Wars set 75300, the Imperial TIE Fighter, which comes with 432 pieces and 3 minifigures. This set comes in at about $40 US, and overall I'm really excited to build it, especially since we just built our X-Wing counterpart for it. So let's go ahead and open it up and begin building. I'm going to go ahead and open up the overkill knife because it looks like we have some tape here on the side. Just going to gently try to slice it like that. You can even cut it like that. Ooh, almost cut myself. There we go. Now that we have the box open, we'll go ahead and flip everything out. That's bag 2, bag 1, bag 3, and the instructions, and that's all that comes with it. Let's go ahead and begin building, starting with bag 1. In the first bag, we get this Imperial TIE Pilot, and honestly, I really like the silver markings that he has on his helmet. Looks very, very good. Alright, so this is what we build in bag 1. We will go ahead and build the cockpit. I assume we're going to build both of the wings in bag 2 and 3. One thing that kind of got me when building this was in the instructions, it wanted you to put the top on this way, and as far as I can remember, it goes this way. So, you know, it's not a huge problem. It's just kind of misleading, if anything. But yeah, that's it for bag 1 so far. The minifigure that we get in bag 2 is this droid that is named NILA, which is kind of a fun play on words. It's kind of a fun little droid, and honestly, I think the minifigure selection so far that I've seen definitely makes for, I think, a good army building set. So yeah, let's go ahead and build bag 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at these minifigures that we get in the set. Of course, we get 3 minifigures. Starting off with my personal favorite, we have the TIE Pilot. I absolutely love how the TIE Pilots look. And this one in particular has some very, very cool silver striping on his helmet, and I think he looks absolutely fantastic. Then we have a standard Stormtrooper with the dual molded helmet, which I'm really not a big fan of, just because you can't really move around his head. You know, that probably explains why they have such bad aim. And then we have the droid called NILA, and it's a pretty standard droid for the most part. He's got some nice detailing there on the torso. You can see like some wires and stuff. I think he looks pretty dang cool as well. So yeah, those are the 3 minifigures that we get in the set. Alright, so basically in bag 3, you finish assembling the entire ship by finishing off the other wing, which basically follows the same build process as bag 2. And I definitely have to say, now that it's fully assembled, it's a very solid TIE Fighter. It doesn't look like $40 to me, but it's there, if that makes sense. And overall, I really just can't complain at all for the fact that LEGO went out and, you know, they made a $40 TIE Fighter and a $50 X-Wing, which, by the way, I highly recommend buying the two together because they complement each other very, very nicely. And overall, like I said, it's a very solid set. You know, you can swoosh it around. It's very solid. I like the way that they put the wings on. It's not like some crazy connections or anything like that. And of course, for it being $40, they've had to take a couple of shortcuts. But basically, this is how the wings are attached. You just have some Technic pins right here. And I kind of like that you can just easily pop them off. But, you know, if you're just flying this thing around, it's not going to like pop off So that's a very, very nice connection there. And something that I definitely think is not necessarily a feature, but it's something that's kind of cool. And it kind of reminds me of an old TIE Fighter toy that I had where the wings would pop off when it got hit. So that's super cool. With that being said, there are a couple of pros and cons to this entire thing. So let's go ahead and show you guys that. Alright, so starting off with the pros, I definitely have to say that one of the best parts about this set is the fact that it is only $40. I'm not sure where my other spring-loaded missile went. But anyways, the fact that it is $40 both makes it easily accessible to build armies with it, and it also makes it a great gift for younger kids as well. And honestly, I definitely have to say that paired alongside the X-Wing, it definitely makes for a fantastic set. And overall, for $40 as well, you're getting what I think is a pretty decent TIE Fighter for the most part. There are a couple of design flaws, but overall it's very sturdy and it looks good for the most part. It's got kind of a glare there for my ring light, but you can kind of see the details here on the wing. And that's on both sides, and I honestly think it looks absolutely fantastic. And of course, it also comes with the features as well. It comes with the spring-loaded missiles, which are pretty standard to most Lego sets these days, and those are always fun to play around with. But of course, they can kind of compromise the look of a Lego set overall. And then, of course, you can open up the cockpit, which is pretty much a very bare-bones cockpit. It's kind of snug in there. And, you know, that's kind of one thing that I don't really like about this TIE Fighter is that it's got a couple of design issues, and we'll get to that here in just a second. So I think almost anybody who looks at this particular model can probably find something that they don't really like. And for me, that is the dark gray ball joint pieces on all sides of the wings. And honestly, I just don't know why Lego went ahead with the ball joint pieces. I'm pretty sure some hinge pieces, like what they used right here, would have worked just fine right here. And at the very least, I'm not entirely sure why they didn't release a light gray piece to go right here. And overall, the dark gray pieces on all sides of this kind of ruins the black on the light gray aesthetic that the TIE Fighters kind of have. But, you know, it's not really something that bothers me as much just because I definitely have a modification planned that we will be able to fix this. Other than that, I think something that kind of bothers me is this right up here on the top. It's so easy to accidentally push it around, and it slides around super duper easy. And so you always kind of have to like put it back in place for the most part. And then there are a couple of things that I don't really like. How they look. You know, I'm not trying to be too nitpicky here, but overall, I just don't like how these studs look in the back for some reason. Not the red ones, but these light gray studs. I kind of wish that they just went with a uniform, you know, block texture right there, and I think that would have looked a little bit better for the most part. But other than that, there really isn't a whole lot I can complain about here. So to rate this set, I would definitely have to give it a 7 out of 10. It's not like super perfect or anything like that, but I think the fact that it is $40 is just absolutely fantastic. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. $40 is awesome for a pretty good TIE Fighter. I really can't complain too much about it. And I also just love the fact, and I can't get over the fact, that they came out with a $40 TIE Fighter and a $50 X-Wing. And they were probably thinking about the people kind of like me who doesn't have a whole lot of money to spend on Legos. And, you know, overall for a price of $90 together, you know, plus the $30 for the Mandalorian set that just came out, you know, $120 for these three sets that what I think are pretty dang good. You know, I can't complain too much about that. I love that they've kind of came out with these value sets that aren't absolute garbage, kind of like the junior sets that they've came out with in the past. So overall, yeah, I think it's a very solid TIE Fighter, and if you're thinking about buying it for yourself, I definitely would have to say to go ahead and buy it, especially if you're thinking about modifying it like I am, or if you are thinking about buying the X-Wing to go along with it. So yeah, that is my review for this set. Well, everybody, that is it for today's review video. I really hope you enjoyed watching it, and I really hope it was both informative and helpful as well. And if it was, please consider leaving a like down on this video below. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel as well. Also, I'd like to know down in the comment section below your own thoughts and opinions on this particular TIE Fighter. And if you have any comments or criticisms other than that to help me improve the channel as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.